A plane wants to fly. A helicopter doesn't. It's the only aircraft that's basically fighting physics. Dozens of tiny corrections every second, just to hang in the air. And the moment it stops fighting, it drops. So how does this thing stay up at all? Stick with me, and by the end, I'll show you how it survives its own engine dying. This is how a helicopter actually flies. Here's the thing. If a plane's engine quits, it doesn't just fall, it glides. Its wings still work because air is still flowing over them. But a helicopter can hover, completely still, no forward speed at all. So how do its wings get any air? The answer is kind of genius. It doesn't move its wings forward, it spins them. The main rotor isn't really a propeller. Each blade is a long, thin wing, racing in a circle so air is always rushing over it. That's the whole secret to hovering. Spin those blades fast enough and they make lift, exactly like an airplane wing. A big rotor turns a few hundred times a minute, with the blade tips moving at several hundred miles an hour. But that creates a brand new problem, one that almost stopped helicopters from ever working. You can make lift, but how do you control it? How do you rise gently or lean forward when your wings are spinning in a blur? Here's the answer, and it's the cleverest idea in the whole machine. You don't speed the blades up and down. The rotor's far too heavy, it'd be way too slow. Instead, you twist each blade. You change its angle of attack, how steeply it bites into the air. Tilt a blade more, and it grabs more air and makes more lift. Flatten it, and it makes less, instantly. Do that to every blade at once, equally, and the whole helicopter climbs or sinks. That control is called the collective pitch. It's one lever in the pilot's left hand that raises all the blades together. Pull up, you go up. But here's the master stroke. What if you change each blade's angle depending on where it is in the spin, so the rotor lifts harder on one side than the other? The whole spinning disc tilts, and the helicopter leans and glides that way. That's the cyclic. It's how it moves forward, back, and sideways. And the part that makes this possible is a gorgeous piece of engineering called the swashplate. It takes the pilot's still, steady hands and feeds a constantly changing twist up to blades spinning hundreds of times a minute. Steady in, spinning out. That one idea, control the angle, not the speed, is what makes a helicopter flyable at all. But spinning that giant rotor sets one last trap. Newton's third law. Spin the blades one way, and the engine tries to spin the entire body the other way. Unchecked, the cabin would just whirl around helplessly. That's the real job of that little rotor on the tail. It pushes sideways, canceling the spin, and when the pilot taps the pedals, it swings the nose left or right. No tail rotor, no control. Now, back to where we started. The engine dies. This should be the end. It isn't. The pilot flattens the blades, and as the helicopter falls, air rushes up through the rotor and keeps it spinning, freewheeling, like a maple seed twirling to the ground. The blades quietly store that energy as spin. Then, right before landing, the pilot pulls the collective, and all that stored spin is cashed in for one last burst of lift that cushions the touchdown. It's called autorotation. The machine that's always fighting physics has a secret. Even with a dead engine, it can land itself. So that's a helicopter. Spin the wings so they always have air. Change their angle to control lift, gently with the collective, steer with the cyclic. Cancel the spin with the tail, and glide home on nothing but a turning rotor. Not magic, just relentless, clever control. If your brain feels a little bigger, subscribe. There's a new machine every week. Next time we're going the other way, deep underwater, to see how a submarine survives pressure that should crush it flat. See you down there.